didn't know it was about to come. Everything changed. I felt 1 second, everything started shaking. It was strong. My cabin was falling apart. Plates breaking. Trees were shaking everywhere. The mountains behind were rumbling as fire was burning inside them. Everything was changing. Then the rocks came. The rocks, like the mountainside, rocks came all the way down. And then they hit the water with pure fury. As it happened, I would never think what would have happened. That the wave came. It was I don't even know how to describe it. It was like, I don't know, it was an act of God, I guess. The wave just took out, it just rolled. I saw it with my eyes. Next thing I knew, it was gone. And everything was gone. Trees were all down. The landscape was changed forever. That's all.
Tectonics, the theory that shaped the world as we know it. Plate tectonics is the theory that the Earth is made up of 7 large lithospheric plates. With smaller lithospheric plates, the theory describes that a large-scale motion of the lithospheric plates.
What many theorize in plate tectonics is the theory of the continent of Pangaea, which billions of years ago, there was one continent named Pangaea. The theory is the lithospheric plates moved apart based on the lithospheric strength of the lithosphere caused the formation of the continents we see today. The plates are still drifting apart as we know today. The theory was developed from the 50s and into the 70s and is still being seen as developed today.
Plate tectonics is the most widely recognized theory that contributes to how many of Earth's landforms are created, such as trenches, mountain ranges, and natural disasters that still often occur in present day. Earthquakes and tsunamis especially are studied using plate tectonics. Earthquakes occur during tectonic movements of the plates, which the movement of the plates is theorized in plate tectonics.
Earthquakes occur along a fault, where a sudden movement of a plate occurs which causes shaking. This is exactly what occurred at the Lithula Bay tsunami, where an earthquake caused a chain reaction which resulted in a tsunami. It is highly recognized that if an earthquake occurs near an ocean ridge or near a bay or an ocean, a tsunami will occur. Though at Lithula Bay, this was not the case. We will talk to you about that later. Sit back, relax, as you are about to experience the fateful Lithula Bay tsunami. Buckle your seats for an educational ride of your life, right here on the History Channel.
It was a calm day out in Lithula Bay, the year of 1958. It was in the middle of summer. What was about to happen would change history as we know it. Then, at 10:15:28, on July 9th, an earthquake occurred on a slip-strike fault. The shaking was so strong, everything in the distance could be seen rolling back and forth. The mountains were shaking in the distance as if it was an act of pure fury. A rockfall began. Hundreds of thousands of tons of rock fell down the mountain, rolling with a speed that would demolish everything in its path. As the rocks fall, they pounded into the bay, causing a tsunami that would set all records aside. The earthquake had a magnitude of 7.8 and 11 on the Mercalli scale. The rock slide that followed sent 90 million tons of earth sliding into Lithula Bay. The mega tsunami's maximum height was 520 meters tall. The tsunami ripped out trees and vegetation near the bay. Ridges, bridges, oil lines, docks, and underwater cables were all damaged. The cabin was destroyed and water towers collapsed.
The Lithula Bay tsunami was caused by an earthquake that triggered a landslide. Lituya Bay is prone to landslides due to the steep cliff sides and its proximity to an active fault. After an earthquake, rocks slide into the water, which causes huge waves to erupt into the bay. The earthquake that caused the mega tsunami occurred on the Fairweather Fault. The earthquake magnitude was measured in at 7.8 on the Richter scale. This caused a large section of the land to slide into the bay. The resulting landslide caused the largest recorded tsunami in human history.
What was life like after the tsunami struck?
Well, life after that was just getting back together. I guess made news, but just there wasn't many people that was really living there except for really me. So I just I rebuilt my cabin. I thought about leaving, but just something about that place, I just feel like I can never leave even after that event.
Was it hard after?
It was not necessarily hard, like physical-wise, just gaining everything, but it was just mentally, just being in a place that natural disaster happened. It was just, it was just very hard for me.
And when the tsunami struck, what were you going through? What were you thinking after you felt the rumble?
I was just thinking about my entire life, like what I've been living, like what to come. Like I was just thinking about like just the family that I've really never talked to, how I just kind of live by myself, and just thinking about that and how much I actually really miss them.
Life was not greatly affected by the tsunami due to the remote location of it. Many trees and plants were ripped out of the ground by the massive wave. Over the years, the trees have grown back and created a view of how high the wave climbed the shore. The only people that were affected by the tsunami were fishermen at the mouth of the bay. 5 of them lost their lives. Survivors claim that there was an intense rumble at the head of the bay. One man said his eyes caught movement at the front of the bay, and a huge wall of water was hurtling towards them. He threw his son a life preserver, and the boat got swept up by the wave and pushed to land.
Hi, I'm Sujading, and you are?
George Michaels.
Okay, George Michaels. So, how are you in tide with the Lituya Bay tsunami?
Basically, after this tsunami, I came in to assess the damage, see what really happened, why this massive wave, what caused it, what damage it did to the surrounding landscape.
So, can you tell me what was the event and how did it happen?
So, in layman's terms, basically there was an earthquake a few 100 miles away, and that kind of shifted the land on the side of the hill. That then sent all of that land, tons of rock and earth, shooting into the ocean. That then pushed all the water up, squeezing it out of a tiny little mouth of a bay, and then just straight into the rest of the Lituya Bay.
And what happened after the tsunami? What effects did the tsunami cause?
Well, obviously, it completely destroyed the surrounding landscape for about 400 to 500 feet above from the water line, which means trees will have to regrow. In a few years, they'll be back.
So, what kind of studies are you doing with the tsunami?
If it will happen again, checking the land in the hill to make sure that it's okay, and just checking if it's happened before too.
Okay, thank you.
The Lituya Mountain is at the head of the Lituya Bay. It is the largest mountain in the Fairweather Range in Alaska. It is at the elevation of 11,923 feet. It is the lead cause in the landslide that it caused the mega tsunami in the Lituya Bay.
The earthquake along the Fairweather Fault created many other landslides, but none that were as massive as the Lituya Bay mega tsunami. The 90 million tons of rock that broke off the mountain is said to have fallen 3,000 feet before they hit the water. The chunks of rock landed on the Lituya Glacier as well as the water, and the huge pieces of ice contributed to the tsunami.
In this computer simulation of the Lituya Bay tsunami, we could see how the start of the tsunami reacts by how the rock side is falling down. You could see this in orange, and how the rocks are pounding into the water, which causes the massive wave to be formed. And from this, as the wave is formed, it rushes out into the bay, reaching its climax of 1,000 feet over 1,000 feet tall, and it just keeps on rushing down through the bay. But since it is in a bay, it does cease before it hits the